We're going to do a different instrument tonight. This is it's a Gibson Les Paul double cut, meaning it's cut on both sides. Otherwise, it's pretty much similar to a ordinary Les Paul. The nice thing about this one is that you can get down further on the neck with your thumb as well as your fingers. And it has a nice sound, it has a nice neck, and it's kind of nice for more of jazz kinds of songs than some of my other guitars, who are more country, rock, that kind of thing. But this one has some jazz tones that are very nice, and so I like to use that for certain songs. And tonight's theme is kind of going to be about that kind of music. When I was younger, playing, as I said in other videos, there was a lot of work in this area. A lot more people, twice as many people in the Clarksburg area, and there was all kinds of things going on every night, 5-6 nights a week. There were clubs open, there were places open, and they all used live music, and it was just a really good place to be. And the nice thing about it was that there were a lot of groups from out of town, out of state, that played here, and got to know a few of them that played some jobs with them and around them, and everybody brings new things to the table, and so it was a nice experience. As well as some of these musicians actually played in this area in some of the clubs, and they played real late at night. Sometimes you played till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So I would often, after I played one of my jobs, to stay on Saturday night or Friday night, I would stop by one of the clubs, the local places, and if there was someone playing, but you could always find somebody playing, go in and just sit in. And sometimes you'd sit in for 2 or 3 hours just to learn. And some of these guys were really old pros, and they were really good at what they did, and they knew their craft, and they really helped me a lot. And so again, this is a little bit of a Les Paul style song on the Les Paul tonight, and so I hope I can do it justice. And but this is the kind of music that I learned from those guys that back years ago that took time to help me with music, because there were no music teachers around at that time, and so you just learn from other guys and other musicians and other people. So this was a great experience for me. So anyway, we'll try the song here, and let's see how it goes. I got a little bit of accompaniment with it to kind of keep me straight here. A little backbeat. Okay, so as in every jam as you play, there are a couple of places where you do a little mismatch, make a little mistake, and I made a couple there, but I'm going to leave them in because, again, that's part of improvising. There's nothing that I'm playing here, and that I played even then when I played, that had any music. It was all by ear, and it was all by feeling, it was all by patterns. A lot of jazz music is done with patterns, and if you start off, whatever your root note is, your bass note generally is the key that you're in, and that's where you run your pattern from. And once you learn the patterns, you can do them anywhere you want to. You can hear. So that's kind of the way this music goes, and it's not real easy. It's one of those things where you have to go over it and over and over it. But any kind of music that is good music, and it's a little more complicated and takes you to a higher level, it just takes practice, and it just takes doing it over and over and over. Even though the basic chords, this is in the key of C, basically just C and D, and then of course there's an F in there too, and that's a B flat. That's just like an A minor 7, and some of these chords sound way out there, but really they're just the basic chords, like that, and A, then back to your C. Like that, and so you just have to go over them and over and over them, and the more you learn, and the more chords you learn, and the more chord structure you learn. By the way, I do have a video that explains a little bit more in detail exactly what I'm doing here as far as chords, with all the the diminished chords and so on. That would help you out if you're interested in learning the song. It's not for the beginner, obviously, but if you're advanced more in this particular song, you may have a lot of good songs, and maybe you just don't have this one in your repertoire, and you would like to listen and learn, and maybe get some new ideas on some things. I do it all the time, and it's really nice to get with other guys or find other people, even on YouTube, that are pretty accomplished players. You can always learn something. I'll guarantee you'll pick up something every time you get with some of these guys, because they're that good, and most of them are good teachers, and they give you some really good ideas. But anyway, just a little bit of Les Paul by Les Poole. But anyway, hopefully. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you get something out of it. And keep watching the channel and subscribe, because I've got a lot of other new things coming up. I have a lot of my instruments, like this guy here, my Telecaster, and I got a whole bunch in the back here that I want to. I don't drop that. I want to demonstrate to you in the coming weeks. So I think you'll enjoy seeing some of these instruments and how I play them, and maybe you'll have ideas that you can share on how you play if you have one of these instruments or several of them. So keep on picking, and we'll see you next lesson.